Gumbinnen Operation. The Gumbinnen Operation, also known as the Goldap Operation, was a Soviet offensive on the Eastern Front late in 1944, in which forces of the Third Belorussian Front attempted to penetrate the borders of East Prussia. The offensive failed, due to strong resistance by the Wehrmacht. As a result, it is largely known through German accounts of the defense and because of the atrocities that were committed by troops of the 11th Guards Army, the so-called Nemmersdorf massacre. The operation was planned as a result of the success of the Memel offensive operation to the north. The troops of the 1st Baltic and 3rd Belorussian fronts had succeeded in pushing the 3rd Panzer Army back to the East Prussian border, surrounding the city of Memel and reaching the shore of the Curonian Lagoon. Stavka permitted Chernyakhovsky to further exploit this success by attacking along the Gumbinnen and Sterburg-Königsberg axis deep into East Prussia. Chernyakhovsky's plan involved using the 5th and 11th Guards armies to break open the German defensive lines, before pushing through exploitation forces from the 2nd Guards Tank Corps and 28th Army. The 31st and 39th Armies would advance on the flanks of the main force. The opposing German forces, from the 3rd Panzer and 4th Armies, were aided by the presence of substantial fortifications, and had been heavily reinforced. On October 16, the 5th and 11th Guards armies went onto the offensive and initially penetrated some 11 km into the German defensive belt. The flanking armies commenced operations the next day, by which time units of the 11th Guards Army had crossed the East Prussian border. The Soviet troops ran into extremely strong resistance, however. It took them 4 days to penetrate the initial tactical defenses, while the 2nd defense line was so strong that Chernyakhovsky was compelled to commit the 2nd Guards Tank Corps to break it. Casualties were extremely heavy. On October 20, the 2nd line was ruptured by the 11th Guards Army and 2nd Guards Tank Corps east of Gumbinnen, defended by the guns of the 18th Anti-Aircraft Division and the Fallschirmpanzerdivision Hermann Göring, which had been redeployed in the area to counter the Soviet advance. On October 21, the Soviets' reserve, the 28th Army, was committed, but the offensive in the north was fought to a standstill in the region of Ebenrode thanks to some effective German counterattacks. Gumbinnen was taken by October 22, but retaken by German forces on the October 24, after the Germans committed the 5th Panzer Division, and Heavy Panzer Detachment 505. Units of 11th Guards Army found themselves cut off in the area of Gross-Waltersdorf, and were involved in intense fighting. In the meantime, the Germans had pressed more reserves, including the 102nd Panzer and Führer Grenadier Brigades into counterattacks at Goldap, on the southern sector of the Soviet penetration. The town was retaken on October 25. The Soviet attacks continued until October 27, as the flanking armies sought to close up to the 11th Guards Army. There was more fighting in the operation's immediate aftermath. On October 28, the 31st Army retook Goldap in a surprise attack. The town was again taken by the 5th Panzer Division, which was redeployed from the Gumbinnen area, on November 3.